Like, if you... Okay.
Hey. Good, good. Capitalism is killing us.
Yeah. Are you a journalist?
Hey, how you
Yeah.
doing?
All right. Oh, great.
Brazil, you don't mind, right?
Sorry?
You don't mind talking to someone.
How you doing?
Oh.
Good, awesome.
I've
Yourself?
seen you before, yeah.
Of course you did.
Your videos.
Oh, you did?
I've seen your
Beautiful.
videos.
Do you like them?
They're okay.
They're okay. Okay,
You
just
have
like
an
that.
audience, so...
Oh. Can we make it better? No. All right.
Good, dude.
You're good. Okay.
You could take a flyer, you could buy a paper, or do you want to put down your contact information to hear about meetings?
I'm good for now, but thank you very much. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Socialism is good, no? Socialism is good, no?
It's a very good thing, absolutely. Yeah, can't go wrong.
You're serious, right?
Huh?
You're serious, right?
Huh?
Oh, you're like tongue-in-cheek?
I'm British.
You're lost. Well, actually, no, I love the Brits.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so actually I'm going to be in London in August.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, very good.
So what are you doing here?
I live here.
Oh, you live here? Oh,
Where you
welcome
been
to
here?
America. Well, I used to live in the USSR, so I live here too now.
Nice, yeah. So
Since 1988, though.
Nice, yeah. No, I've been here for about 8 years now.
8 years, okay. But what's the thing with socialism? I mean, seriously, like socialism?
I don't really want to. No, I'm fine, man. I'm
You're fine, okay.
Yeah.
All right, see ya.
If you don't have a driver's license, or you don't have the number or whatever available, you just need the last four. Okay.
Do you have the link for online?
And then we'll try to get it later.
Socialism,
Yeah. You interested?
all the way. Sure, socialism, such an interesting concept.
Cool. We asked just $2 to cover the cost of printing. Would that be all right?
Socialism, but isn't stuff supposed to be kind of free in socialism? Like,
Well, if everything was free already, then why are we organizing against capitalism, right? We keep telling the landlord we're communists, but he keeps asking for rent nonetheless.
I see. Okay. So, but what are you trying to kind of to promote? I mean, socialism in America or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how are we going to accomplish that? I mean, I see the word revolution. It's kind of, to me, it's a scary word, revolution.
Well, the working class makes up the majority in society, and we believe that we should run society democratically for ourselves, rather than running it for the private property of a few.
Oh, so you're against private property then?
Only in the capitalist sense of, massive corporations and such. I like owning things.
But
Nothing wrong with that.
you like owning things. But
Yeah,
as
nothing wrong.
capitalists, no?
No, not necessarily. People have owned things for, generations and generations and generations. What's new is capitalism. I have to ask, though, I think I've seen you around here before. Are you filming for your YouTube channel?
You've seen it? You
No,
saw my
I've
YouTube
seen
channel?
you around here before, though. You're a little bit of an anti-socialist, correct?
Well, look, I was born and raised in the USSR.
Of course, of course. So
So-
were many of our members.
What's that?
So were many of our members,
Oh,
actually.
awesome. So I guess they're kind of unrepentant socialists. I saw the evil, and there's a difference. I'm 62 years old. So your members are so young, they never experienced socialism. So it's totally irrelevant saying that I was born in Russia. I never say I was born in Russia. I say I was born in the USSR. There's a big difference between the two. So I saw evil firsthand, and what socialism is to me. I mean, being, let's say, interrogated by the KGB is not fun. Friends of mine spending years and years. So one of them spent 14 years in gulags. That's not fun. So another friend of mine spent 3 years, and all he did, he's sociologist. There's a new constitution in Russia that came out under Brezhnev. All he did is comment on the constitution, like making notes that this is, I disagree with this, disagree with that. 3 years behind bars, just for that. And that's socialism. I don't know. I mean, tell me if there's any other socialism other than, the socialism of USSR, the socialism of China, the socialism of Cuba and North Korea and Eastern Europe back then. So how would your socialism be different, where people would not be sent to gulags for like minor things of free thought?
We'd have to build it for ourselves ultimately. What happened in the Soviet Union and every other revolution it touched is ultimately very tragic. A lot of very good communists were among the first to go. So I know how serious it is. And we take that question very seriously.
Good, okay.
Well, we believe ultimately capitalism is what creates the conditions for such barbarism and authoritarianism. World capitalism, not capitalism in any particular country. And ultimately we believe we only have one choice. We have socialism or barbarism. We see gun violence here. It's the fall of the Roman Empire, but with AR-15s, and I don't want to be a part of that. I worry that we'll get gulags or worse, whether or not we own the means of production.
Yes, think so.
I believe that we need to fight for a truly democratic socialism on the basis of revolution by any means necessary.
But here's the question that always baffles me. I mean, first of all, there is no such a thing as democratic socialism. It's an oxymoron. But if it's a system that is so great, why hasn't any country that ever tried to implement it ever succeeded? Russia failed, China failed, Eastern Europe failed, the Cambodias of the world failed. And every single time we're talking about not hundreds, not tens, we're talking about, it's about gun violence. So gun violence kills a number of people. But we're talking here about millions of people murdered, innocent people murdered for no reason whatsoever in the name of socialism. How can your
if you remember, our own government, killed many people in the name of capitalism as well. It's by no means exclusive to socialism. The Contras in Nicaragua. You have Pinochet in Chile. Everybody talks about how bad Mao was, and he really was. But think about the government that he replaced, the horrific things that they would do. Ultimately, we have enough food to feed 10 billion people, but there are still hundreds and hundreds of millions starving. I would argue that that's quite violent as well, and we shouldn't, balk at fighting against that just because previous socialist experiments didn't go the way they wanted.
Sure. So, but how will your socialism be different, and how can it build it differently than, all these brilliant, you would think, minds tried to do in the past?
Well, ultimately, what happened was the second the revolution won in Russia, it was under siege, right, from over 21 invading armies, and that created the conditions of basically siege. It was Lenin called it, communism in a besieged fortress. Socialism is only possible on the basis of great prosperity, and if you're Russia right after World War I, getting invaded by many, many foreign armies, you're not going to have enough to feed everybody. You're going to need mass participation in fighting against the invaders. And, before you know it, the war is over and you have this giant bureaucracy crusted over. So ultimately, I think the way we fight against that is we have to win. We have to make sure that that doesn't happen.
So first you have to create prosperity, right?
We already have prosperity.
Thanks to capitalism. Hey! Do you want to talk to me?
No, shit.
No. Okay.
Somebody who is a pediatrician, author, and a dedicated activist helps us see gun violence as a public health crisis. Please welcome Dr. Jaffe.
Hello, thing that laid out. So, as a member of the older generation, I want to say something on behalf of grown-ups everywhere, and I've actually wanted to say this for a long time. I am so sorry that we have failed to keep you safe. It's a deep shame and a stain on our national history that we have not protected our young people. We've watched children die from gunshots on playgrounds, in church pews, on sidewalks, in broad daylight, strapped into car seats, in their living rooms, doing homework on their bed. We've watched entire classrooms of children die, and our reactions have been timid and inadequate, and I am so sorry. I've been asked to speak today as the medical voice, since I'm a pediatrician and an adolescent medical doctor. But the plain truth is that you do not need a medical degree to know what we can do to end gun violence against children. All you need to do is learn from American history and to listen to the demands of the young activists here today to know what must be done. Because we have saved children's lives before. In fact, when it comes to the public health of children in this country, our history is one of hard-fought and hard-won victories.